Nathan. Okay, cool. So you can get yourself started in a comfortable seated position, whether you want to sit on a cushion or just on your mat, and start to feel that rocking forwards and backwards to begin with. Hi, Eric. So yeah, you can rock forwards and backwards, maybe close the eyes as well, just to turn the focus inwards. And notice that sensation of being a little bit off balance, a little bit off center. Then you can rock yourself into smaller and smaller motions so that you end up sitting up tall in stillness with the head above the heart, above the pelvis, feeling for that lift up through the crown of the head, lengthen the back of the neck. You can maybe tilt your chin down ever so slightly to feel that. Hey Rasheen, lovely to have you here. And from there you can start to take a few deep breaths. You might even take a deliberate yawn. And you'll settle here in your beginning position, your beginning posture. Rooting down firmly through the base of your body and lifting up lightly through the crown of your head. And as you sit here and start to welcome yourself to the mat, start to check in with how things are feeling in the body, I'm going to introduce the theme. So you can remain with your eyes closed, you can continue to notice the journey of the breath. And I'll introduce the theme, which is actually a direct quote from the Bhagavad Gita. And the quote is, "On this path, no effort is ever wasted and there is no failure." I really love this quote. It offers me a lot of comfort and reassurance. So that's what today's practice is about today, is reassurance. And the Bhagavad Gita, if you don't know, it's an ancient Indian text known as the first text of yoga. There's so many different translations of it. You might have heard of Baba Ram Dass. He's a spiritual teacher, psychologist. He wrote the book Be Here Now. And Ram Dass treated reading and teaching the Bhagavad Gita as a spiritual exercise, and he encouraged his students to read it at least 3 times with a slightly different perspective in mind each time. But anyway, so today I wanted to focus on this particular quote from the Bhagavad Gita to inform how we move and just to infuse our practice. So on this path, no effort is ever wasted and there is no failure. So these words can really support us in times of difficulty, especially during the current challenges that we're facing. So I'd like to offer these words as reassurance that simply by being here, you're on a good path and no effort is ever wasted. You cannot fail, and whatever state you've arrived to your mat in today is completely welcome. So you can take a deep full breath into that and maybe sigh it out the mouth. And then we'll get cracking straight away. So you can find your way to all fours. And once you're in your all fours position, let's warm up the wrists a little bit by padding out the hands. So you can lift the hands up, have the fingers facing out, maybe back to the knees, facing forward. It's a bit like a cat or a kitten. I don't know if you've had them do that before, where they get their claws into you because they're being cute, but it kind of hurts. So padding out our paws, our hands. And then settle the wrists down underneath the shoulders, spread your 10 fingers wide, and we'll move through a few cat-cows. Inhale, belly drops, look up, tilt chin up. Exhale, chin to chest, round your back. Inhale, scoop the chest through to face forwards. Exhale, tuck the tailbone, push the ground round the back. Then follow your breath for a few rounds of these cat-cows, starting to mobilize the spine. Great one to do first thing in the morning as well when you get out of bed. You can add any extra movement you might like, perhaps kind of focusing on the rib cage to make big circles. So you move the rib cage up to the side, down and round. Making sure to go in both directions if you're doing that one. And then pick up your right hand and take it to the middle. So that one hand print over to the left. And you can peel your left hand open, your left fingertips come up high. Take a few breaths here, a little twist. You might notice that your hips start to lean over quite a lot to the left here, so try and keep your hips over your knees if you can. And then sit your bum back to your heels. Take an inhale with your arms wide. Pop your left hand behind you, exhale. And inhale, lift the hips up, lift the right hand up. You can wave your right hand about in the air a little bit if you like, kind of gliding the fingers and arm forward and back like a wing on a bird. Feel the hips reaching up. You can stay low if you prefer, that's fine. Then we'll inhale to sweep the arms open, bum to heels. Exhale back to your original position. And now both hands underneath the shoulders, and let's take some big circles. So you can scoop right forward and right back. Then change the direction of your circles. And we'll do that on the other side. So left hand comes a little bit further to the right. You'll peel the right arm open for your twist. Again, the hips might veer off to the right a bit, so try and keep them over the knees. Feel that sense of expansion and opening through the chest, through the armpits. Inhale, bum to heels, arms wide. Exhale, right finger pads down. Inhale, hips up, left arm up, or keep the hips down, whichever you prefer, and you can start to glide that top hand, that top arm forwards and backwards a little bit. You might like to picture feathers here. Inhale, arms wide. Exhale, back to original position. And then pop your hands down to the mat. We're going to come to Anahatasana here, melting heart. So you want your hips to stay above your knees. Feel free to tuck your toes if you need extra balance, or keep the feet on the floor. You're going to walk your forearms all the way forward, your arms forward. Rest your forehead to the mat. Or if you've got the space here and it's fine for your neck, you can bring the chest to the floor and the chin down, looking up to the third eye. So if you're new to this posture, it's a little bit like child's pose, but with the bum up and the hips over the knees, rather than the hips relaxing back to the heels. And it's really a posture about surrender, so your heart space is melting down towards the earth in a gesture of surrender. And as you take some deep breaths here, you can start to bring in that sense of reassurance, that sense of supporting yourself, of knowing that right now you are exactly where you need to be. And if the posture feels completely wrong, then come back to child's pose or something else and reassure yourself again that you're where you need to be and that you are the expert on your body and your needs. When you're ready, you can start to lift the head and the chest up, and we're going to set up for our downward facing dog. So let's make sure those 10 fingers are spread first. You want your index fingers running parallel to each other like train tracks. Tuck your toes, lift your hips up and back. Pedal out the feet one by one. And then something I'm going to suggest that everyone does, this is especially good for beginners, but it can be good for anyone at any stage of their yoga journey, is to lift the heels right up, bend the knees quite a lot, and squeeze the belly all the way to the thighs. So you're pushing the ground away through the hands, knees are bent, heels are up, belly squeezes to thighs, head is dropped. And you'll notice this helps to feel into length in the back body. You're now going to start to straighten out the legs very slowly, but keep the
the hands, the arms, the back in the exact same position. So you'll notice here that if you straighten your legs and you start to come forwards a little bit into a bit of a skew with plank, or the back starts to round a bit, you can actually keep your knees bent. That's probably going to work better for you to find that length in the spine in your downward facing dog. If you can keep the chest, the back where it is, whilst lowering the heels to the floor, then you can stay with straight legs for down dog. You might want to nod your head, shape your head here, and then we're going to walk all the way up to our ragdoll position. So two options here. You can either bend your knees and take the arms forward, holding opposite elbows, or if you want to get a bit of a opening in the chest, you can interlace the hands behind the body and let the arms come up and over. Just whichever one you go for, make sure the head is dropped and the knees are really quite bent. The weight is more forward in the feet. If your arms are clasped up, you can take them down now, and we'll all start to inhale and roll up the spine. So you come into standing, head comes last. From here, we're going to swoop the arms heavy from side to side, slapping the sides of the thighs. And then we'll set up in mountain pose at the tops of our mats. I think my head's been cut off a little bit, but that's fine. So you can take your feet hips width apart, your feet are parallel, pick the toes up and spread your toes, and then place them back down. So you're kind of gripping the mat through the toes, you're pushing down through the heel, you're pushing down through the big toe mound, and you'll notice that the inner arch of the foot has a sense of lifting up. Roll your shoulders up, back and down, spread your palms, spread your fingers. Lift up through the crown of your head, so as you root down through the feet, you can rise up through the crown of the head, finding length from the very bottom of the feet all the way up to your head. From here, let's inhale, sweep the arms up. Exhale, hinge from the hips, forward fold, drop the head. Inhale, flat back position. Exhale, frame the front feet, step back to plank. Inhale, push the ground. Exhale, knees lower, chest lowers. Inhale, chest lifts, gaze down the nose. Exhale to push all the way back to downward facing dog. You can, of course, stick to all fours and cat-cows here, or you can come to your down dog. Remembering what we said about bending the knees and pressing the belly to the thighs. Let the head drop heavy wherever you are and feel for a sense of hugging in the lower ribs. We'll take 3 cleansing breaths here, so that's in through the nose and a big sigh out the mouth. Then take a step or hop forward to the top of your mat. Inhale, flat back, gaze down at the ground. And exhale, bend the knees, drop the head, forward fold. Inhale, sweep your arms all the way up. Exhale, palms to heart center. From there, step your legs out wide. You're going to have your toes pointing a little out, so towards the outer corners of your mat. And take up as much space as you can here. So spread your arms wide, spread your legs wide. You can even open your mouth and your eyes really wide. Stretch the face. 5-pointed star. Inhale here. And exhale, knees in direction of toes. Arms come out strong and assertive by the sides of the body. Sink the hips as low as you can. Try and lengthen the lower back down a little. Feel for the belly button hugging in and up. And then you can take a bit of movement here. Feel what it's like to have really sturdy, strong foundations in the legs, but a bit of free movement in the arms. So you can now move the arms from side to side. Then inhale, sweep back up to 5-pointed star. And exhale, we're coming into warrior two on the right side. So you've got your back toes pointing towards the long edge of the mat. You might have them tilted in a little bit. And your front toes are pointing forward. Front knee is over front ankle, but tractioning over to the little toe edge of the foot. Arms are wide and strong. Fingers are spread. Head above heart, above pelvis. Take the gaze over the middle finger of the front hand. This is your drishti, your point of focus. The legs might be starting to feel this quite a lot, so notice how strong your legs are, even if they're wobbling a little. They can hold you here. Take your back hand to your back hip. Flip your front palm up to the sky. Inhale, reach forward. Exhale, hug lower belly in and come up and back for reverse warrior. Inhale, warrior two, arms wide. Exhale, forearm to thigh. Top arm up. Take a few breaths here. You're not pouring the weight into the leg here. You're just using it for balance, the arm on the leg. But you're lifting up and away through the left fingers. The feet are still firmly rooting down. Then inhale, palms together, legs straight. Exhale, warrior two. You can take your gaze forward this time rather than over the fingers. So inhale, palms together, front leg straight. Exhale, warrior two. One more time. Inhale, palms up, legs straight. Exhale, right knee bends, warrior two. Then you're going to windmill the arms all the way down, so you're framing your front foot. And step back to a plank and stay in your plank. Feel free to drop the knees, yeah, you can always take modification. And whether you're in full plank or knees plank, we're going to take 3 circles one way. 1, 2, 3, and the other way. 3, 2, 1. Either come straight back to down dog or move through a vinyasa. Knees, chest, lifting on the inhale, exhaling to down dog. You can take a little wiggle in your down dog. You can lengthen out through one leg and then the other. Or you can keep focusing on bending the knees, lifting the heels and squeezing the belly to the thighs. From there, take a big step forward with your left foot this time. So your left toes are pointing forward. And we'll windmill our way all the way up to warrior two. So the back foot is at 90 degrees. Left knee bent over left ankle, arms out strong. Take the gaze over the middle finger of your front hand, your drishti, your focus point. You might be able to bend a little more into that left knee, moving it over towards the little toe side of the foot. You can feel a bit of a sense of opening in the hips here. Back hand to back hip. Front palm faces the sky. Inhale, reach forward. Exhale, hug lower belly in. Come up and back for reverse warrior. Check your knee hasn't started to kind of creep in here, so you still want it over the ankles, steering out to the side. Legs are strong, feet are firmly planted down. Inhale, warrior two, arms straight. Exhale, forearm to thigh, right fingers reach up. Feel that lift through the right fingers. The left arm's there for balance, so you should be able to move your arm and still stay in the same place. But we'll keep it there for structure. Inhale, warrior two. Exhale here. Inhale, legs straight, palms touch. Exhale, knee bends, warrior two. Inhale, palms together, legs straight. Exhale, warrior two. One more time. Inhale, palms together, legs straight. Exhale, warrior two. Inhale here, gaze over left hand. Exhale, windmill all the way down, so you're framing the front foot. Step straight back to down dog or take your vinyasa. Your choice. You can always come to child's pose if you want a break. You can come to all fours and do cat-cows. So we've got options. If you are in child's pose or cat-cows, come up to down dog, and we'll all step our left foot forward. And we're going to find our way into warrior 3. So you can start by using your hands to support you here. Lift your back foot, so your back toes are pointing at the floor. You're reaching back through the back heel. And you can start to find a bit of a balance here. If you've got a wall beside you, that's great because you can use it to hold on to for balance. You can also use like a chair or anything in front of you. And we're looking to really pour our weight down through the standing leg. Use our core engagement and a fixed point for the gaze, using our drishti again to keep focus, to keep balance. If you're finding your balance without the support of an object, you can experiment with different arm positions, maybe taking them out like wings or taking them forward. And then when you're ready, start to search for the floor with your toes. So you can find your toes down on the floor for a lunge, back heels lifted. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, take it back to down dog or move through your vinyasa, yogi's choice. Whenever you're ready from your down dog, you're going to step your right foot forward and once again start to find your warrior 3 on the other side. So your left foot lifts, the left toes are on the floor. They're pointing towards the floor. And you can start to find balance here, maybe using support. That's always really good to use what you've got around you. Or maybe finding moments of balance without holding on to anything. And just as an alignment tip, sometimes the hip of the raised leg can want to open to the side, so that's a different thing. For warrior 3, we want to keep our hips in line with each other. So that left hip is rolling down and in. Start to hug in through your core, so you've got your core awareness. And start to find the floor with your back toes. Whoop, and you get caught. Inhale, arms up through lunge. Exhale, plank. We're going to do one last thing in plank. So you can always put your knees on the ground. We're going to circle for 4, 3, 2, 1, and then the other way. 4, 3, 2, 1. Then take it back to your version of child's pose. So you can have knees quite close, you can have the arms tucked behind you. You might want the knees really wide, the arms in front. So find your favourite version of child's pose or what's going to support you best here. You're probably going to notice your heart rate has sped up quite a bit, so take a few deep soothing breaths in your child's posture or any other posture that feels relaxing and restorative for you. And again, you can take a moment here to reassure yourself. So you might start speaking to yourself in like a really friendly, warm voice, being like, hey, you're doing a really good job at being human. Being human can be hard, and you're doing a good job. And as you're feeling the support from yourself here, and from the community of people who are also practicing this video at the same time as you from different parts of the country and the world, you can also begin to pay particular attention to the breath. So as you inhale, feel the back puff up a little, the belly fill up. As you exhale, feel the shoulders relax and the belly empty out of air. And remember those words from the Bhagavad Gita. On this path, no effort is ever wasted and there is no failure. from your child's pose, you can start to lift your head and peel your fingers across the mat to your knees. And take a moment here with the backs of the hands on the thighs, the palms facing up in acceptance. Bow the chin to the chest. You'll feel a bit of a stretch through the back of the neck there, so the head is heavy. And notice the breath here. So can you feel the chest rise and fall with the breath? The rib cage expand on the inhale and fall down on the exhale, as well as the belly filling up, ballooning out on the inhale, emptying on the exhale. And you can then take a moment to place a reassuring hand anywhere on the body that might feel quite tense or might feel in need of some care. So if you've got quite stiff shoulders, you can start to squeeze the shoulders, one hand and then the other. You might feel a bit and then you can like rub your belly. Maybe you've got a bit of heartache at the moment and you can take your palm to your heart and rub it in circles. So offering your reassurance, your care, your support to places in the body where you might have stuff going on. You can also just give yourself a general squeeze, like squeezing the wrists, the arms. Again, just letting yourself know that you're here, present. And from there, you're going to take it down to your backs for your Shavasana. We'll not stay here very long because we're running out of time already, but let's take a few moments at least to lie back, to let the legs come wide, the arms come out by the side of the body, palms facing up. Feel how that helps to notice a sense of openness in the front body so that the breath can move freely. Feel where the back body connects down to the ground, so you're fully supported by the stability of the earth here. You can take deliberate yawn. You can start to consciously relax the muscles in the face. And I'll say the quote one last time for good measure. On this path, no effort is ever wasted, and there is no failure. When you're ready, you can start to deepen your breath. By all means, stay here if you like, but if you need to get on with the day, then you can bring small movements in, wiggling fingers, wiggling toes. Finally, drawing the knees up to the chest. You can give yourself a big hug and roll over to one side. So you're spending a moment over on your side, taking a few deep breaths, again noticing the support of the solid ground. And then slowly roll up to seated, eyes closed or lowering the gaze. And you'll bring your palms together at heart center in Anjali Mudra, bowing the head down in honor of your practice. In gratitude to yourself for sticking through the practice. Take a deep breath in. A long breath out, and when you're ready you can blink the eyes open and head out into the day. If it's nice and sunny where you are, then I hope you get a little bit of time out in nature. That theme of reassurance was a request from one of our lovely yogis who's been practicing with us. So if anyone does have any theme that they want to work with, you can always message me and let me know, and we'll share that with everyone else as well. So I'll be here tomorrow at 12:30 for meditation, and then I've got the Zoom class Wednesday evening 6 till 7 p.m. And I'm going to just update via my social media if anything else happens. So
stay in touch and have a lovely day.